What's going on, my friends? Cubs fan Han back again for a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and today I'm going to be talking about a team I'm actually really excited about. We're going to be able to use Rebels against the Palpatine Nightmare team meta. I'm going to show how they work and talk through some attack strategy tips. And this was actually shared on my Discord server in my anti-meta channel, which you guys should check this out. I've got a whole audience participation area of my Discord server. Once you join a faction, everybody on my Discord server now will need to choose their allegiance between Jedi, Empire, Rebels, and Sith, and then we host competitions between the factions. It's really fun. Come check it out. But once you're there, we have audience participation area where you can share ideas for videos, for the Bag of Questions videos, and I've got an anti-meta channel, and this was shared by Teak, aka Darth Binks. And he says that this team he said it worked against Palpatine teams, against pretty much anyone in his December 2015 shard. So I thought, hey, I gotta check this out. I tried it, it totally works, and I will tell you why. Alright, so going into a battle here now, I'm going to throw the speed stats up here, and please be aware, if you want to beat the top meta teams in your shards, you're going to need to have good mods. So yes, I've got some really good speed on this team, so I can do this. I don't know the speed stats of the original team that was shared with me, but this is what I'm running here, and it did make it work, and then some. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to be going against the grain here with an anti-meta team, you're probably going to need to have some pretty good mods to be able to pull it off. And the speed is going to be really important on this team in particular, because the beginning of these battles are going to be so critical. So some attack strategies tips. At the beginning of this battle, always stun Vader with your Han Solo. That's going to be very, very critical to the start of this battle, because you have to stop that turn meter train from going, and Vader is going to have so much speed built up already because of his unique, and he's going to be able to do his AoE, apply all those dots, and then once those start falling off, they're just going to gain turn meter like crazy, and it's going to be really hard to catch up. So stun Vader. It's going to be best to burn rather than stealth, in my opinion, with R2-D2 next, assuming he is going to be your next in line. I've just found it more effective to apply that burn at the beginning of the battle. And then your goal is going to shift towards Scion here. I am going to focus on Scion, and usually my Commander Luke will have a turn, and I will apply call to action, and then I will use his first special against Scion, which is going to do two things for you. Number one, it's going to wipe away his turn meter, which is really important. And number two is it's going to apply tenacity down, which will be important later, because we're going to want to stun him as much as possible to prevent him from using his AoE too early. Ideally, you can keep him stunned with either Han or R2 as the battle progresses. Next, we're going to want to apply tenacity up with Chirrut. And a lot of people will tell you to wait to apply tenacity up until Scion has done his AoE, but in this strategy, I'm actually trying to avoid that AoE altogether, which I was able to successfully do most of the time. If you feel like you're not going to be able to do that, then maybe wait to use that. But the problem that I run into with that is if I wait to use it, then Darth Scion gets a turn and he sucks that cooldown away from Chirrut, and so I'm not able to get tenacity up. Furthermore, you usually have more debuffs at that point, and so you don't even get to apply tenacity up, because Chirrut is going to convert debuffs into health up instead of tenacity. You only get that tenacity when he is using it on allies who don't have any debuffs. So that is going to be very important. Then ideally, when Palpatine uses Power of the Dark Side, which is his mass shock stun or whatever, he is going to not be able to stun as many of your characters. Those who don't have debuffs will have tenacity up. You'll have more left standing that will have that counter chance. And if you have enough of them that do not get stunned, then sometimes you'll be able to completely take him out, like I've seen in some of these battles I have pre-recorded here. And then, or you're at least be able to get him close, so you might be able to just hit him once with Han, and then he's out of the battle. But that said, you definitely want to focus on Scion first. In my opinion, the absolute worst case scenario for this team against a Nightmare team, and really for almost any team against them, is when Scion is able to use Held by Hatred. That just really kills the flow of battle. It's going to make you have to kill him twice. He's already kind of tanky, and then you're going to be forced to attack him. It just really disrupts the flow of battle, in my opinion, and so I avoid that at all costs. After Scion is out, I'm going to balance this attack between Palpatine and Nihilus. What usually will happen is maybe Palpatine will be left with just a little bit of health, and so maybe I'll take some attention off Nihilus, hit Palpatine once, and then go for Nihilus. But that said, you do want to bounce that out. If you feel like Nihilus is going to be close to an Annihilate, you might want to take attention off Palpatine, go for Nihilus first, or keep him stunned. And then hit Palpatine just so that you avoid that Annihilate as well, depending on where you're at in the battle. If you're late in the battle and everyone's pretty much gone and you've still got 5 toons standing, if Nihilus annihilates Baze, it's really not a huge deal at that point, especially once Scion is out of there and Palpatine is out of there. But if it's earlier in the battle, it's just something you really want to watch out for. Then that leaves Vader and Thrawn, and you can kind of balance between who you want to prioritize at that point. But really, if you have 5 or 4 on those two, you're going to be able to handle them one way or another. So that is the general attack strategy for this team. There is a lot that can go wrong if you don't manage the beginning of the battle in particular. So the speed stats, again, are going to be very important, because if you're not able to use the right abilities at the beginning of the battle, then it's going to disrupt the flow, and if they get that turn meter train rolling, you are going to be screwed. So some things to look out for at the beginning is if there's a little bit of RNG here. If your speed is good enough, you should be okay. But something that you need to watch out for is, say, Thrawn gives a turn to Vader, and then Vader's able to use his AoE quick enough, and then Chirrut is not able as a result to apply tenacity up, and then Palpatine gives a good RNG on that stun because there's no tenacity there. Scion does his AoE, you're forced to attack him, the turn meter train's rolling, he throws Held by Hatred up, and it's just done. Those are the things that you really need to watch out for in doing this. So the biggest things you want to watch out for when you are doing the beginning of this battle is you really want to manage Darth Scion, because he is going to be the one, if he puts Held by Hatred up, that is really going to disrupt that battle and make it hard for you to win. You also want to make sure that Vader is not able to get a turn at the very beginning. Of course, we know we want to stun him, but if Thrawn disrupts that, then that can really throw off your groove. But at the end of the day, if you are able to manage a Scion right, if you can keep him stunned, keep him from using his AoE ideally, and especially Held by Hatred, you should be able to win these battles. I found that the counter chance of these rebels really helps against some squishy Empire characters. I mean, if you get a really good mass counter with on say Palpatine, it can take him out sometimes or get him really close. I've seen the same thing happen to Nihilus when he uses his AoE. It's very, very effective. All right, what are some of your thoughts on this team? Are any of you struggling to beat these Nightmare teams? If so, I am with you. I have been struggling to beat them myself. I've actually worked Han into my Palpatine-led team, and it's really, really helped me. Again, thanks to Grande Patron for giving me that suggestion. Made a big difference to be able to get out the gate and stun Vader instead of trying to beat their Vader with my own, because I just don't have that kind of, I don't have those kind of god mods to do that. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Are any of you guys running this team? Let us know how it's going for you. What are some other teams that you are using to counter these really tricky Palpatine teams? Let us know down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.
My dead body. Sorry about the mess.